I don't understand how you couldn't have Kyle Lowry on this list. He is maybe not the best player on the Raptors, but definitely leader of the Raptors, who ended up with the second seed. The season's
Mhm.
not over yet, but as it stands now, the Raptors are the second seed over or under Milwaukee, over Philly, over Miami, over Boston, and I don't think you can overstate that. I understand they have a very good roster compared to some of those teams around him, but he is one
Yeah.
of the best point guards I've ever seen at knowing when to try to take over a game, knowing when to defer, knowing when to just set up the bigs in the pick and roll.
Mhm.
And he is one of the most hard-nosed defenders in the league. I don't think you can overstate his intangibles. Led the league in charges drawn again. Just competes every single play, and he's just a winner.
I don't know about that because if you look how good that Raptors team is, you got Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, Pascal Siakam, Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka. You just have a great team. If you take Kyle Lowry and put him on a lesser team and ask him to do more,
Hmm.
I don't think he's anywhere as good as he is. I think he's so good because he could just defer, and pick his spots. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now all the attention's on Siakam. Let me drive to the rim. Ooh, Norman Powell just scored 2 straight threes.
Hmm.
People are on him a lot tighter. Okay, let me dish it to Marcus Gasol and let him set up in the post. Just because he makes good decisions and is a good basketball player. I'm not saying he's number 11th on my list.
Hmm.
Just because he makes good decisions, good passes, good reading of the game, doesn't mean he's a top 10 point guard in my opinion. Like he cannot be like, okay, it's my turn to win this game for the Toronto Raptors
Game
and
6 of
just
the
go
NBA
off.
Finals. Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
He started off hot
Yeah,
because because
they wouldn't
they
win that
that's
game if he didn't start off like that.
that's was Golden State's plan though. Did you see how like they all of Golden State focused on Siakam and Kawhi? They said we shut these two guys down, we win. Kyle Lowry said, "No, man, I'm a good third option," and he went off. And he's not even the best player in that game. Fred VanVleet played better that game, and you know that's true.
End of the game, second half. Sure.
Yeah,
Fred
overall in the
VanVleet.
game,
All
he
right.
played better. Yeah.
But okay, so I do agree with you that if you said Kyle Lowry, here's an average team that you're clearly the best player on, go make the playoffs or
Mhm.
go win a playoff series. No, they don't win. But I do
Not
think
even close.
no, but I do think
Yeah.
that if you took any of the guys that I have under him, like Kyrie,
Kemba.
Kemba, these guys, I don't think the Raptors win last year, and I don't think they're in the second seed this year, and I think that their playoff prospects are a lot lower this year. Just because he is one of the smartest and
We're
most
talking about
selfless players that is in the league today, who can score if you ask him to, but isn't a guy that you would
mhm.
rely on to average 25, 27 a game, but can still have that kind of
Yeah.
impact on the game just by setting up his
So
teammates and just competing every play and knowing when to pick his spots and knowing when to defer, like you said.
but a player like uh, Kyrie Irving, who you had below him, surprisingly, can just go score. Like he could
No,
draw so much attention, and he
I
could just switch everything.
I would have
You know what I mean?
The only reason I have Kyrie this low on the list is because, and while it's the excuses are valid because of injury and team
Hmm.
drama and all that stuff, but he has just not had any success recently at all. He's just either off the court for whatever reason or alienating his teammates for whatever reason, and it's affecting his play on the court, and he just has
I
not.
agree. I
And we
agree.
just
Yeah.
have not seen a big enough sample size of him that I can say yes, he affects winning more than Kyle Lowry because he's just
Hmm.
never playing for long enough.
I just have in 2016, Kyrie Irving was more important for that Cavs championship than 2019 Kyle Lowry for the Raptors championship, in my opinion.
I agree, but that was 4 years ago, so that's why I have
Yeah,
him
that was
lower
four
on
years
this.
ago.
That's the last time
But
we saw him impact winning at a high
yeah,
level.
that's why he's number 7 on my list too, because of his recent play.
Yeah,
So we kind of agree on
he's number
Kyrie.
5 on my list if he's healthy, maybe
Yeah,
even higher.
same. He's number 5 on my list if he's healthy.
Yeah,
Okay, so we agree on Kyrie. But someone like Kemba Walker, how can you have him below Kyle Lowry? I have Kemba 10, Lowry 11. So they're very close.
hmm
But Kemba Walker is just a superior offensive player
I
in every aspect of
I
the game.
disagree. I really like Kemba, but what if we're talking about point guards here, and what if I
Hmm.
told you that he has only averaged 6 assists once in his career, and that was in 2013?
Does
That's
he
not what I want on a point guard. I want a guy who
does he
can.
need to get does he need to get assists? Why does he need to get assists? Jason Tatum is best when he has the ball in his hand and can create the play. Jalen Brown is best when he gets the ball and can create an offensive play.
Hmm.
Gordon Hayward likes to create his own
No, no,
offensive
no.
shot too.
I agree this year, but I'm just saying his entire career, we've only seen him average 6 assists once.
Okay,
And this
but
is a guy who you're saying
Those
okay,
Hornets team had who on them? Nick
but
Batum was his best offensive player beside him
but
ever,
you
ever.
just said Trae Young is averaging high assist numbers on a team that has even worse players than those Hornets teams.
Yeah, that's why Trae Young's one spot ahead of him.
No, I love Kemba, but
Yeah.
he's a one-dimensional player for me. He's a scorer. He's a really good leader. Um,
Mhm.
like like he's the leader on Boston this year, even though he's not the best player,
100%.
kind of similar to
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry. But uh, he's an amazing scorer, and he gets better every year. Even this year, I would probably even say this year is his best year, even though he's not
Yeah.
averaging the numbers he did last year.
Yeah.
Uh, but for a point guard, I want a guy I can rely on to set up the rest of his teammates, have a 12 assist game every now and then, not just have to have the ball in your hands to affect the game.
But you can't say Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum don't have the ball enough in their hands. Like Kemba
No,
Walker
no, no, no.
knows when to give it to them
I
and
completely agree.
step in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
corner.
It's just that
Yeah.
offense is more of a Tatum ISO, Kemba ISO, maybe
Eh,
like a smart cut by Jalen Brown, Gordon Hayward type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's not a lot of like Kemba Walker pick and roll. Maybe that's because they don't have a good center on the team.
They don't have a good
Possible.
center. Yeah.
That's possible. So
Yeah.
maybe and he's never really ever had a good center. So
Hmm.
maybe that is true. That's fair. Maybe because you can get a lot of easy assists off the pick and roll. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just because playmaking for me is the most important thing in a point guard, and scoring is secondary. Kind of. But
Yeah.
that's why I have him lower on the list. He would be
Okay.
number 11 for
I think Kyle Lowry's a great player. I think he's gonna get his jersey retired and
me. Hmm.
everything like that. But you have to admit, he's been gifted with centers. He's had Jonas Valanciunas, who's a great pick and roller. Now he has Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Siakam.
Yeah,
Like
no, you're right. He definitely
he's
has,
very privileged as a point guard
but he's made the
because
best use of them. So that's why I have him on the list, because he has not. He's done a lot with that opportunity to be able to play with really good big men, and he makes other, like we've seen him make Chris Boucher look good at times, and all these. Chris Boucher had by far his best season in the NBA this year, and I think that's a lot due to Kyle Lowry. Maybe some Terrence Davis in there.
I don't even know if Kyle Lowry is the best point guard on his team anymore.
You think
Fred
Fred Van Vliet
VanVleet
is no,
is
no.
stepping up, and it's becoming a conversation.
Fred Van Vliet I honestly could argue maybe Fred Van Vliet could score and take over a game better than Kyle Lowry, but
But
he can't run the offense like Kyle Lowry. He just
but
can't.
it's becoming a conversation. That's fair to have.
He's the clear number two. And it's not
I
1A,
think
1B. He's the clear number two.
I think it's very close, and I don't think you could put Kyle Lowry on here just because his team's so great. That's like putting Chris Middleton as a top like three shooting guard or small forward because his team's so great and he's doing so well on it. Like
But
you have to give him some credit.
but with Chris Middleton is taking advantage a lot of the time of opportunities created by Giannis on that team. Kyle Lowry is the one who's making the guys on his team look good. Like Pascal, you know how many times Pascal Siakam will be sprinting down the floor in transition? He'll just catch a dime from Lowry an inch above the rim, and all he has to do is tap it in.
Do you think players like Ben Simmons, Trae Young can't do those dimes?
No, they can. They just don't do it as often because they don't have as good players. But Kyle Lowry
They don't
has
have the
as
good
good
players,
players and
yeah.
concede all the time. That's why I have him higher on the list.
But Kyle Lowry can't.
And
That's what I'm
you
saying.
have to factor in his defense. He's not like a one-on-one lock
He's
you
not a
down
Ben
type
Simmons
defender, but
defender.
he's an amazing team defender.
He's not
And he
half a
can guard
defender
big
Ben
men.
Simmons is.
Have you ever seen a guy like Towns try to go up against Lowry in the post? He literally can't. He just passes out of it. They can't. They can't post Lowry up.
But, but he's not half a defender Ben Simmons is
No,
at the
he's
end of the
not.
day.
He's not. He's not. But he's a
So
much, much, much better offensive player than Ben Simmons right now.
I I
He
just
is.
think
You put Ben Simmons on the Raptors, they get worse. You put Lowry on the Sixers, they get better. End of the day.
I just think for
End of
Ben
story.
Simmons